Welcome back. Well, there was an awful lot of backslapping and happy handshakes at a September 9th announcement last year. A delighted Prime Minister Stephen Harper personally took center stage to declare the discovery of the Franklin expedition's sunken HMS Erebus. But there's a darker backstory to the historic find. Pulitzer Prize-winning writer Paul Watson of BuzzFeed is here to fill us in. Paul, I'll get to the story in detail. Why on earth did you have to resign from the Star? This is a pretty engrossing story to tell. Why did you feel they wouldn't publish it?
I was told flatly, in Vancouver of all places, because editors came here to meet me, will you lift a ban? I'd been told for 6 weeks that I had to cease all reporting in any way related to John Geiger, head of the Royal Canadian Geographical Society. I asked, will you lift the ban and let me finish this story? And I was told, no, we're not interested in engaging, was the word used in that story. I had no choice. I had to quit because I wanted to tell the truth. So I did that.
All right, let's get to that. There are two versions of truth as the shipwreck was discovered. How did the PMO-sanctioned version of events differ from reality, in your view?
The most important part, I think, to start with is the date of discovery. Now, I spent months now looking at different statements by different people at different times, and the media was led to believe that the discovery, or at least the confirmation of the discovery, was on the weekend, even the Sunday, just before the Tuesday, last September, that the Prime Minister made his announcement in a photo opportunity. In fact, it happened, for the record, on September 2nd. And I think that's important because, A, it's a historical fact, and B, one needs to know why that was kept secret, I think, for so long. I was told at the time it was a matter of security to protect the site. I don't take that at face value anymore.
Okay, well, I want to get into this John Geiger individual, CEO of the Royal Canadian Geographical Society. You spent a lot of time on him being the spokesman for the find when he actually appeared on this show at one point to discuss it. Was he basically just a Harper cheerleader and a show-and-tell guy, and he really wasn't there to tell about the find itself because he wasn't there when they found it?
Well, it's true. He was not there when they found it. He was roughly 65 nautical miles northwest of the wreck site on a different ship. He was not even aware of the discovery when it happened. Again, I've spent a lot of time looking at the interview he did with you and others, and the story about the moment of discovery changes, but what remains constant throughout his interviews is the matters of policy and politics, I would say, that are favorable to the Prime Minister. Now, I have no proof, and he certainly denies that he was asked to say anything. But I think anyone looking at the abundance of evidence would see in those interviews that he was cheerleading for the Prime Minister.
And he actually got a Polar Medal for this. I guess I got to ask you about, you know, there's archaeologists, marine archaeologists like Ryan Harris. I went on a shipwreck search with him several years ago. He actually discovered the wreck. How are they feeling, Paul? Are they feeling snubbed by all this?
Well, there's two worrying things to me. The most important thing, and this, anyone in Ottawa, as you know, will tell you this, who works for the federal government, they are worried, fearful for their jobs. There is a climate now, and I'm sure this is probably true in other capitals in our country, where civil servants, the people we pay to provide good, solid information to our political leaders, are afraid to speak out publicly. So you just had a guest on climate change. We know that scientists in this country who are experts in that area, some of them leaders in their field in the world, are afraid to speak publicly because it doesn't toe a government line. That's not healthy for democracy. And when it gets to the bizarre level of archaeologists looking for a 19th century shipwreck, expressing fear to me privately that they don't want to tell the true story to me because they're afraid they'll lose their jobs over it, that has reached a very different and dangerous point than we may have been talking, say, 10 years ago.
Exactly. Well, it was an enrapturing story. I urge viewers to look it up on BuzzFeed. Congratulations, Paul. Great story. Thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate it, Don. Thank you.